again. You get lost in these non-public and public.
You're gonna get a lot more comments on the YouTube since I'm here, Judge. I've been told I have a great radio face.
Well, it's hard to argue with Miss Sutter's reaction to that. That's a real hard argument for me.
I don't know. Mr. Nichols' reaction to my radio face is really good.
All right, so Mr. Rios is Mr. Rios. We'll pull him from the breakout room. All right. All right, sir, you are Ricardo or Richard Rios?
Yes, sir.
All right. So we're on the record in docket 23-00260. People of the state of Michigan versus Richard David Rios. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Brian Ring on behalf of the people.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Mr. Rios, who's joining us via phone call on Zoom.
And sir, you are Richard Rios, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you can hear me all right, Mr. Rios?
Yes, I can.
All right. Mr. Ring, this is the time set for a pretrial. How we proceed?
Your Honor, it's my understanding that the defense would like 45 day adjournment in order to get that paperwork needed.
All right.
That's correct.
5 days. Clients. All right, so sometime in April.
April 11th.
So we have a new date of April 11th at 9 a.m. So Mr. Rios, do you have that date of April 11th at 9 a.m.?
Yes.
All right. We've adjourned this pretrial 45 days in order for you to do whatever you need in order to make compliance in this case. So we'll see you on April 11th at 9 a.m. If you have any questions, please keep in contact with your attorney, public defender, Lauren Sutter, all right?
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. Anything else for the record in docket 23-00260, Mr. Ring?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Anything else, Ms. Sutter?
Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Rios, you're free to leave the Zoom courtroom. Thank you for your appearance today.
Thank you.
Ma'am, you are Megan Gearhart.
Yes.
All right. And Ms. Gearhart, your attorney is Lauren Sutter for sentencing.
Yes.
All right. You were to be in person. You understand that?
No, well, it was switched. I didn't thought it was always over Zoom. It was supposed to be last week, and then it was switched.
right.
I didn't know.
Well, stand by and we're gonna get you a sentencing date that will be live, all right?
All right,
So stand by.
all right.
All right, we're on the record in docket 22-01906. That's people of the state of Michigan versus Jessica Krawczyk. This is the time set for a probation violation arraignment. I do not see, is Ms. Krawczyk, are you here? All right. Why don't you come forward here? You can have a seat right there, ma'am.
Thank you.
This is the time set for arraignment in this matter. And so I'm going to indicate for the record what the nature of the probation violations have been brought against you, okay? The allegations that have been brought. So your probation officer, Jody Bayless, brought this on February 9th, 2023, indicated that you violated your probation by failed to refrain from alcohol as directed on January 10th, 2023, January 10th, 2023, and that you submitted a positive sample for alcohol with results yielding a result that violated your probation. And she indicated it's 4008.64 and 387.78. So she indicated the actual result. Do you understand the nature of the probation violation that has been brought against you?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay. So with this probation violation, you have certain rights, and I'm
I don't know what it is, but I'll ask my computer.
I don't either.
This little girl, her mom, come and knock on my fish house door. You just sold me a
Miss Brown, you should mute yourself.
Sorry.
So you understand the allegations have been made against you, ma'am?
I do, and I want to take the time to apologize to the courts for my mistakes.
All right,
It will never happen again.
well, let's get through this arraignment and then we can,
Okay,
those are only allegations at this point, okay? And you have a right to a hearing in regards to those allegations. You have the right to counsel at a hearing, to contest or cross-examine any witnesses brought by the people in regards to that hearing. And there's a recommendation by Ms. Bayless. I don't know if she's talked to you about the recommendation, okay? So there's several options today. One option today is to set it for hearing, so you have an understanding of what you're looking at. And so you have an opportunity to talk to a lawyer, or at least know what you're looking at in regards to if they prove their allegation that you violated probation. The court has many options, but one of the options is jail, of course. And so maybe you should understand what the recommendation is before we go forward. Is that fair?
sure.
Yeah. Did you ever retain counsel in this case, or
I
seek
did-
counsel?
I did prior, but
Okay.
not to the violation.
All right. So not to the violation. So you don't have a lawyer today. Do you plan to seek your own counsel in regard to the violation?
Probably not.
All right. Let's set it for hearing and allow you some time to contact Ms. Bayless so you can talk about some of the issues before so you know what you're looking at, so you make an informed decision, okay?
Okay,
Because and that's not to say that the recommendation is an indication that that jail would be an option. It's just saying that maybe you should talk to Ms. Bayless before we tell you what your so you know what your options are.
I would prefer jail at this time because, I'm seeking disability, and so I'm not working, and my mom is already paying the court payments and the drug screens. And she said that she can't pay anymore. If you did sentence me to something else, she said, I can't pay anymore, so I'd be in violation over and over again with non-compliant.
So that's a good reason of all reasons to talk to Ms. Bayless
Okay,
as a follow-up, because some circumstances have changed and maybe there's a way. Maybe you should know what you're getting into before you actually plead guilty to a violation, all right?
okay.
So we'll set it for hearing,
March 14th.
and we'll set it for March 14th at 1:30, at 1 o'clock or 1:30?
We have jury trials that night.
Okay, at 1 o'clock. So you'll get a notice on March 14th at 1 o'clock. Before we show up, it would probably be a good idea to talk to Ms. Bayless to make sure you know the nature of the allegation and make sure you know what she's recommending. And then if it all works out that day, it's fine. If not, then at least you're going into it knowing what you're getting yourself into, okay?
Okay,
All right. All right, so March 14th at 1 o'clock is the next date. Anything else for the record in 22-01906? Ms. Krochek, do you have any questions of me?
no, thank you.
All right, you're all set. We'll see you here on March 14th. And this is,
Okay,
this is Ms. Sutter from the Public Defender's Office. She might be able to answer any questions you might have, okay?
okay.
All right, that's all for the record in that file.
I was more happy. Thank you. I think that's a little lower.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Try to get out the-
Mr. Ring, are we ready on Mr. Mayberry?
Oh, yeah, we were already on Mr. Midway, Your Honor.
All right. And I know that we're on the record in dockets 22-01254 and 22-01254 and 22-02037. That's people of the state of Michigan versus Michael Mayberry. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Brian Ring on behalf of the people.
And sir, you are Michael Mayberry?
Yes, sir.
All right. This is the time set for a violation of probation hearing. This was previously, Mr. Mayberry was previously arraigned on February 7th. Mr. Ring, how are we proceeding today?
Your Honor, it's my understanding at this time that Mr. Mayberry would be pleading to these violations.
All right. So, Mr. Mabry, is that your intent to plead and to confirm the allegations or the violations that have been brought against you?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'll restate those for the record. We are on, I have 22-1254. And then I have 22-02037.
Which one are you gonna do first?
One of the violations are as to, let's see,
I think they're technically different, Your Honor.
I think they're technically to both,
It's
right?
identical, but she filed it for both cases.
She filed them on both cases?
Yes.
All right,
The recommendation for both is the same.
all right, let me see. Yeah, they're identical violations. So we'll treat it as one violation as to both files, all right?
Okay, sir.
All right, so the allegation was that, so please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, sir.
The violation was that that you failed to refrain from THC and you had a positive test on January 10th, 2023. And you admitted to the probation officer, Ms. Bayless. So first, did you test positive for THC on January 10th, 2023?
Yes, sir.
All right. And then did you thereafter admit to the probation officer that you were using THC?
Yes, sir.
All right. I find that as a confirmation of the probation violation on both files. So that would be as 22-01254 and 22-02037. So that's on, I've indicated that D is admitted to PV violation on today's date for use of THC and tested positive. Now there's a recommendation in the file. And so I'm going to follow the recommendation that's been indicated. I'm assuming that Ms. Sutter, you spoke to him about this, or at least.
I did review with him. I think he has an understanding of what is being requested here, and he expressed to me that he didn't have a difficulty. I think specifically it's 15 hours of community service.
Right.
That's being requested to be added. He doesn't have an issue with that.
All right. So that the violation recommendation at this point in time is to continue testing at AberHealth, the complete the 12-step program, which were part of the original probation violation, to continue probation, any jail to be held in abeyance at this time, Mr. Mayberry, and that there is a 15 community service hours in regards to the probation violation.
Yes, sir.
And that's to be served within the end of probation.
Yes, sir.
So continue probation as you are, okay? Do exactly what Ms. Bayless requests.
Yes.
And if you do that, then we can stop adding things to your probation.
Yes, sir.
If you become a frequent flyer here and I see you often, then I'm going to start running out of options because I can only give you so many hours and I can only add you so much. And so I don't want to get to the point where I'm thinking, well, maybe it's time just for 5 days in jail or 10 days in jail, and that's what I don't want to do. Now, I'm more than willing to do that in order to make a point, but let's look at this as a kind of wake-up call for us, all right?
Okay. Yes,
That
sir.
you will be violated, you will come in front of me, and then I'm gonna run out of options, And that's how people end up in jail, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Mayberry, do you have any questions of me today?
No, sir.
All right, please keep in contact with Miss Bayless, all right?
Yes,
We
I
want,
will.
we want the communication to be good there.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's all for the record in both those files.
Okay.
2201-254 and 2202-037. You're all set, sir.
Okay, thank you. Sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It is one.
She was supposed to be in person today.
I just added the 50 hours on the ROA.
I would hate myself if I did.
There's a lot of respect for myself.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Mr. Ring, what case do you want to call next?
Judge, we're ready to go on Miss Brown's.
All right.
Tony Brown's.
Tony Brown.
There were two Browns.
Yeah, there's a
another one,
Shamora,
Brown.
a Shamora Brown, all right. But you're ready on Tony Brown.
That's correct.
All right. So we're on the record in docket 23-00109. That is People of the State of Michigan versus Tony Brown. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Brian Ring on behalf of the people.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Ms. Brown, who joins us via Zoom.
All right. And ma'am, you are Tony Brown?
Yes, sir.
All right. And you can hear me all right, Miss Brown?
Yes, sir.
All right. This time set for a pretrial in the matter. Mr. Ring, how are we proceeding?
Here at this time, people will be moving to dismiss all charges based on compliance.
No objection.
All right, Ms. Brown, you understand that the people are moving to dismiss file 23-00109 in regards to these allegations for compliance purposes. That's 3 counts on the warrant, so we probably need a nollie, right, on the warrant?
It was an actual complaint, so I think a nollie.
Yeah, so I
It
think,
wasn't a ticket.
so what I'll do is, Mr. Need's P number. So Mr. Need will need your P number because for the nollie cross. All right. So we'll have you sign it and I'll sign the nollie in regards to the warrant. That means it's dismissed without prejudice, which means they could refile if they want to, but for our purposes today, the charges are dismissed. All right, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
All right, and I'll sign that nollie once we're done. Anything else for the record on docket 23-00109, Mr. Ring?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Sutter?
Nothing, Your Honor.
All right, that's all for the record in this file. You're all set, Ms. Brown. You can leave the Zoom courtroom.
Thank you, sir.
I wasn't sure if that-
There should be 3 unlicensed. And we're gonna, Lauren, you're here on Miss Gearhart. We'll reset that.
Your Honor, I had heard, if you don't mind me being heard on that particular thing,
Okay.
my understanding of the PSI is that they're not even recommending probation, let alone jail time. Is there really no way we can proceed forward on the sentencing today?
I want it to be live for her. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's been some miscommunication here and I want to make sure that she understands the importance of being here live and with the recommendation.
Judge, may I approach?
Yes, you may. I had notes of being live all over the file and then we're in Zoom. So for sentencing. So I understand it's an exercise, but it's one I'm willing to take. You know, yeah, so more for purposes that I think it might,
Or sending a message that administrative.
yes, exactly.
And then the,
All right. Let's do Ms. Gearhart. All right, so Ms. Gearhart,
Yes,
all right. So I understand that this was initially reset during last week's, during when the court was closed. And so we reset it from there. But for sentencing purposes, I think it's ideal for you and I to have a discussion about why we're sentencing you to what we're sentencing you. And that there's always the option that I don't want to use some options that are going to be available to me. Do you understand that, Ms. Gearhart?
yes,
You understand that by following the recommendation or by indicating, what I'm saying is I prefer to do this, and we're going to do this because my preference kind of trumps anything else right now, is to do this live. We're going to sentence you live, all right?
all right,
All right. I'm going to set sentencing for March 7th at 1:30. All right.
all
So
right,
that should be live in person. You should come in. Your public defender, Ms. Sutter's here. And then we'll talk about the sentencing and we'll talk about some of your options available. All right.
okay.
All right. Any questions concerning the date, Ms. Sutter, on March 7th at 1:30?
No questions concerning that, Your Honor.
All right.
I suppose one clarification. You're referencing something that happened last week. I'm not familiar with.
It was two.
Inventory.
Yeah, it was.
I reset it on January. 10th. It was originally set for last week.
Yeah,
It
we
What's the
initially set it for inventory purposes and then we reset it.
Right, so nothing on part of her behavior.
No, that's, I
purely
guess,
court schedule.
right. I guess that's what I was trying to indicate, that I know that the court was closed, so we couldn't have the sentencing, you know. All right, Ms. Gearhart, we'll see you here on March 7th at 1:30, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. That's all for the record in docket 22-02485.